Welcome to Louisiana Heartbeats. I'm Cindy Landry, and guess what? We're on Facebook Live also. On this show, we interview musicians, authors, businesses, and more. But today I have the author of, as you can see, Alex the Caterpillar, and she is Joanne Crumling.
Yeah.
And I've had a blast trying to get all that information right. I've been trying to misspell your word, but
Everybody
your
misspells
name
my
and
name.
Lord, it took me forever to get this, ladies and gentlemen. I have been trying to get her booked for quite a while now,
Yeah.
and our schedule finally fell into place, and then I
Thank
had
you.
to really double check all those graphics, be sure we had it right, and we do. So today I'm welcome to the show. So glad you can make
Well,
it.
Sudi, it's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much. This is my first television interview. Yeah, so
I get so excited,
yeah,
Joanne.
so you
'cause
go
I'm-
down in my book as the first.
Hey, at least I'm the first in something.
Yeah.
I'm the first in something, but I want you
So-
to know, this is the reason that we have this platform.
Okay.
It's because I myself am now a published author, and I had no idea that I would ever be a published author. But because of other things I've done in my past, showcasing people at the time singing, then this is a new season of supporting and showcasing and featuring and getting the word out there about authors like you that have these wonderful books. And I get excited, Joanne, because once we have you come on the show, all I ask is that you keep us updated where your next event's going to be.
Oh, definitely.
And AOC loves helping the community find out about who you are.
Okay.
Now, I know that you yourself just mentioned it's your first interview on a show, and this is so relaxed. It's like, you'll be surprised how great the show turns out. And more excitedly is that people right now, and if you tell people that you're on Facebook,
Mhm.
in the future, anytime we do shows, all of our shows, which is something new, is now being broadcast live as we are actually recording
Wow.
for this to be put on AOC within a couple of weeks. So with that said, AOC is a community-free access station, as you know, because your husband's involved.
Yes, he is.
And so it's a great opportunity to advertise and share with people what's going on. Now, the oddest thing is, as I have been out of transportation for about 8 weeks waiting on a brand new car that my son is
Oh.
bringing to me, so I'm excited, that it's coming in, so it's worth the wait. And the reason I said that is that I have been wanting to get your book that I understand is available on different shelves at different
Yeah.
locations. So we want to talk about that without talking about prices, but mostly I just want you to know it's all coming to head today. It was perfect. The timing's perfect. So, Joanne Crumling, tell Acadiana a little bit about who you are, your background.
Hmm.
Are you retired? Are you married? Blah, blah, blah.
I am all of the above. I'm a retired paralegal, legal secretary. I'm originally from Ville Platte. It was Joanne Gilroy Crumling.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a huge following from Ville Platte. I love my Ville Platians. But anyway, I married a man from Pennsylvania, Jim Crumling, and I have 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and
Wow.
2 great-grandchildren.
You're looking good,
So,
lady.
honey, we were blessed with a beautiful family, a
Awesome.
large family, kind of outgrown the house when they're all there, but, we enjoy family, so.
Well,
And,
my next question is, I want to know what inspired you to write this book, Alex the Caterpillar? A lot of things.
No,
We
God.
talk about what we believe
I
in.
never dreamed of writing a book. I never
Okay.
even thought of writing a book. I was, as we get older, we retire, we develop into our spirituality
That's right.
more and more.
That's right.
Okay, and reading the Bible, and
That's
I
right.
just, I was going around in circles, didn't know what to do, and I started praying about being able to evangelize.
Awesome.
And one day, the Lord spoke to me and told me to write my book. I was begging, what do you want me to do? Show me, And I just heard a voice that said, write your book. And I'm thinking, there's no way. My book, my story would not glorify the Lord. So anyway, and then all of a sudden, he gave me a vision that he had given me 15 years before. and I had totally forgotten about it.
You see that?
But when I saw that vision initially, I remember it was so cute. I chuckled, and it was animated. I'm sitting down on my patio,
What do you mean?
just having a glass of tea, and all of a sudden something catches my eye. And when I did look at it, it wasn't reality. It was animated.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forgot about it. Blinked my eyes, and it was gone. And I never. But I remember thinking, I chuckled, and I thought that would be a cute story to tell the kids, because I love to tell my grandchildren stories, and all,
yes.
especially stories that relate to the Lord, that they can learn
That's
from.
right.
You know.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway,
Well, I'm glad that and I'm so glad that you share that. This is a platform
mhm.
where we can talk about anything we want, and I'm here to tell you, the Lord does that to a lot of us. I never thought that I mean, He did the same things in a different way, and He wanted me to sing for Him. And I'm like, but God, I haven't sang in years. We used to sing in talent shows. I haven't sang in years. I'm thinking, la, 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 la. No. He just said, I'll send the people to you, and you let them sing what I've done for them. And that's where this was. I had a vision of an eagle sitting on a branch getting ready to fly. And that He played with me and my thoughts on that, and all of a sudden Louisiana heartbeats. My heart beats for Him.
Wow,
And that is how this
sweetie.
story
Yeah.
this platform was created, and walked into AOC one day and didn't know anything. I'd been showcasing singers, but I hadn't really, but so many awesome stories of testimonies were coming across my path. And all of a sudden, the Lord's showing me, He's letting me run into authors. They all have a story. They never thought they'd be published,
Mhm.
and they all glorify Him. So that's why you're here. That is why you're here.
The Lord places people in our.
No accident.
No, and that's what I prayed for. I mean, there was no way I could have financially. I didn't have the resources.
No,
I prayed about it, and to find, I actually cried about it, because I had to give up,
that's right.
and said, I can't do this, Lord. And within less than an hour,
Mm-hmm.
He made it possible, and that phone rang, and it was possible for me to publish this book.
And that's exactly
So,
how He
you know,
works it out.
He works it out. He puts people in your path
Once He
that
finds
He
out,
needs.
once He knows that you're going to do what He
Oh,
tells
yeah.
you to do, then man, He sends it in. Well, okay, so we now know what inspired you to write this. So in your, Alex, I haven't read it yet, only because I haven't had transportation to go buy it, and I didn't want to order it
Yeah.
online.
Well, you
And
want a
so
signed
therefore,
copy.
you know, and I'm also created, as you know, another show, Mother Goose, who does things for a living as Mother Goose and other characters. But she also goes around to a lot of events. And so the Lord inspired on my heart to have her go and maybe consider showcasing the local authors from here. And so we had an agreement. So in between that, I hadn't, well, first of all, I didn't have your right email, which is one of the reasons it kept stopping me. It was either going to be forgot the underscore or kept trying to put a B in your last name and
Yeah.
whatever. But today's perfect timing because I was on my way here and I'm so excited. I'm like, this is going to be fun because I'm going to get to read that story. Hopefully, if she's able. If not, then I have to make a trip to Barnes &
Oh,
Noble.
no, I have some.
So
I have
this
some
is
for you. I have some for our viewing audience. If
awesome,
they want to
awesome.
get in touch with me,
They can check out your email, send your
they can
request.
check out my email or call me or whatever. It's also available at Barnes & Noble,
That's what I wanted you to say.
Acadian Religious, Amazon.com, Westbo.com.
That's it. That's what I was going to ask you. Where would your book be available? Now, you walked into a recent, not too long ago, Writers Guild meeting. You were so excited. You
I
walked
know.
into Barnes & Noble, and you were sharing with me your excitement about, you just walked in, and you just went up and asked somebody, before you know it, they were going to put your books on their shelves.
Yeah.
And I see you had a book signing.
Yes, I did.
So you've had
That was
one
exciting.
at Barnes & Noble. Where or some other places have you had any?
Well, Acadian Religious was my
You just
first.
mentioned, okay.
Yes, I tell you, my publisher was really helpful with the book, and then also they're trying to teach me how to market it because now I'm in marketing phase.
Oh, good.
But it seems like they teach me one way, and I'm doing everything backwards, and it works for some reason. It's like everything's going backwards,
It makes
but
sense.
it just falls into place. But Art at Acadian Religious was my first. We had a book reading
What month
and
was that?
sign. That
I'm
was in
just curious.
September.
September,
Yeah, at the
okay.
end of September last year. And then we've been to several book fairs. At arts, it was a reading and a signing. It was, for
Right,
a couple
okay.
of hours, and that was just so wonderful. It went so well in the children. We had a crowd of children sitting around me, and I read the story
Isn't
too.
that
And that's why when you
amazing?
said about Mother Goose,
Yes.
it's like I'm not quite ready for that because that's what I'm wanting to do. Maybe go in schools and stuff like this.
Well, that's
and,
exactly the
and,
whole
and
point.
read.
That is exactly the whole
Yeah.
point. I just saw and she accepted because she's been a busy, busy lady, and she does other characters.
Mhm.
I mean, we have Mrs. Santa Claus that visits us too
Oh,
sometimes,
Okay.
and Fairy Godmother, and Mother Goose, and this lady does this for a living, but donates her time to come on the show to help other authors.
Mhm.
And so I was excited about that. So, with what you just said,
Mhm.
I know for a fact that I have asked authors to go and get in touch with the lady in charge of the children's department, and they literally can set you up to do a reading of your book on one, I think, Saturday of the month. So, without saying
At
anything
where?
more,
At the library, you mean?
Barnes and Noble itself.
Oh, at Barnton.
Now, libraries, it's up to you to get in, and it's
Yeah.
very hard to get in, but then I think that when it's right, it's right.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, without going into details, because this is a
Yeah.
station where we don't talk about, but I do want my authors to know that when they come on here, that there's so many things that are opening up for you. Now, with that said, what, in Alex the Caterpillar,
Mhm.
what is the main message? Your write-up about, on your piece of paper is good. What is the message in the book?
There's several
Without
messages.
giving away the
Well,
whole
there's several
story.
messages, and I think it's to keep your focus on God's light,
That's
to
right.
let Him guide you and lead you. But I've had several friends from our church. I have one particular friend that told me, she says, I bought your book and I keep it at my house and I read it to the grandkids every time they come, and every time I read it, I find a new message.
Good.
So there are little hidden messages, but things, I say, my mission is to plant the mustard seed
That's right.
and let it grow. God will water it because
right.
as we walk through life, we experience different things. And so we get a message today that we may not get tomorrow. We may get a new message, So, and then two, I'm thinking when I originally started writing the book, I'm thinking of the children, but we're all children of God.
That's right.
So the parent that's reading the book, they may have a light bulb moment. And
I love it when you said that.
the teenager, that's babysitting and picks up the book and starts reading, and they read something and they say, oh, I never thought of it that way,
Well, I have I have two great-granddaughters, and the youngest one is 3, soon to be 4. She comes to my house and she picks up the books and she brings them to me. It's not just one book.
Mhm.
And she lets me read it to her. And then maybe a second time, and then after that, it's almost like she can tell you the story about the
Yeah.
pictures. And she will ask questions, but I know through another author, and I think you do the same thing, is that what you just said, different messages come across to the person reading or the person receiving the story. And sometimes more questions like, why did you use the caterpillar? You see, just stuff like that. And I want to know, why did you choose
Well,
the
because that was the
caterpillar?
vision I saw.
See,
Okay.
that's what I wanted to
But-
make sure. Okay.
But the story evolves to where the caterpillar is transformed to glorify God. So that's
Amen.
the,
You see, ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
this is my first time
yeah.
ever doing an interview with someone, and I have not read your book.
Oh,
And it's not because I have
girl.
not tried, but I have read all the little
Yeah,
inserts, and I
yeah.
did get that message, and I love it too. So,
And it was my intention to go to a couple of the Writers Guild meetings and bring you one. However,
no.
we had some other things. My
Oh,
husband
yeah,
had
a
a
lot
couple of surgeries. And
Well, the whole thing is that, I'm so blessed when people do give me books, but the thing is, I don't expect it,
Mhm.
because this is where the Lord has put me there to get people to come in on this show so I can share. When did you start the process of writing Alex the Caterpillar?
I signed my contract February 26th, 2017.
Okay.
With them.
Wow, you've done a lot
And
then.
and it went live June of 2017. I think the most difficult, it's like once I decided to do it, the Lord just kept giving me and I have a grandson. I dedicated it to my grandchildren, but I have a grandson who's going to some trials.
Okay.
He suffers from a rare disease called Friedreich's ataxia, known as FA.
Wow.
And so
okay.
that kind of gave me the premise. It's like we all, when I thought about it, we all go through struggles through life. So, and that's what, it's Alex's, and my grandson's name is Alexander, so I named the book Alex after him.
I had a feeling.
Yeah,
you did.
so
Awesome.
it's the journey that we take through life and the challenges that we have to face and how we overcome them and the choices that we have to make.
That's
At
right.
one point, Alex gets in with the wrong crowd, but then he has to turn his life
That's
around.
amazing.
You know?
I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
reading that.
yeah.
I have a son who's now in his late 30s, and he had attention deficit disorder.
Mhm.
And believe me, stories like this would be great if it had been back then available too, because I know just a little bit that you're sharing that it would have been a book he would have read. And I've had other authors come on, and it's amazing. Joanne, each of you have different characters and different stories, but the same purpose, to share the message, share encouragement and all that. So the central message is what you just said a while ago. I was going to ask you what it was. And it's sharing encouragement and how you can take the situation basically,
Mhm.
and it can become something great. Well, God's word says those ashes are turned into beauty. So lately, I know it's God's timing, because I am amazed at the amount of children stories that are coming out for
I
first
know.
time publications. And I was asked not too long ago, so many things we need. We put out the word to UL, so far it hasn't happened. We put out the word on Facebook, looking for illustrators to these children's books that are looking, the new authors, to have someone illustrate. In my heart is finding someone local,
Yeah.
not always having to go out of country, but
Yeah, I know a couple of people, but I don't know that they get paid that well. Maybe that's why they don't do it
Well,
as an
this is-
adult. However,
it would have to be a paying job,
However,
because they need, a
right.
man is worthy of his wages.
I
We donate
met-
our time here, but those people do their
Oh,
own
yeah, yeah.
talking.
That was I think the hardest part of my book, because I'm dealing with people foreign, across the country, maybe in India, and there was a team of illustrators. When they asked me if I have a granddaughter who is very good in art, but she was not able to do it because she was trying to finish school.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'll hire someone right now through my publisher. And it was to make them see my vision.
Yes.
Because we
yes.
had a lot of rejects, okay, and you only get so many times to reject it, or it's, then you have to start paying additional monies. But in the end, one of my first books that I sold, through a contact, I ran into someone. I'd have to look up her name and everything, but their daughter is going to school to be an illustrator, and she showed me some of her drawings, and they are beautiful. So I'm kind of working on a second book right now.
That was coming up.
And I'm thinking
Awesome.
possibly of contacting her to see if maybe she or
Well, I want to give words of
else.
encouragement to you and everybody that's watching the show that has a good story that you think you want to write. Hey, just do it. Later on, it'll fall into place.
Oh, yeah.
My books didn't get published until like 20-something years later, but
Just
God
do
worked it out, and it was perfect timing. And what I wanted to say to you and other authors to be and published authors is that don't let anybody change your story. It has to remain
Oh, yeah.
your story.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have to have a choice of the different authors, illustrators of children's stories. Then you know which one would be the fit to use as the person illustrating your book. Now, I didn't realize there were so many different styles, and I didn't realize my favorite style, and all I could say is, I like Mickey Mouse kind of colorful stuff. I like real
Yeah,
colorful
yeah.
stuff. So in my case, if I would do these other books I'm writing, it's not ready yet, I would like cartoon, I would like bright
Mhm.
and all that. Like, see, I love your background.
Well, I was really pleased with what came out
Yeah.
in the end, because we were pulling our hair out
That was
for the
so
longest.
cute.
But yeah, they the whole book is, even for the younger kids, even though they can't read and maybe they don't understand the meaning right now,
Right.
the illustrations are so vibrant that
Yes.
it captures a child's attention.
Now, I want to bring up another point too, is that the story can be told by the picture.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and so some books have a lot written on a page and just a little bit of illustrations. Depends on the age group.
Mhm.
And what age group do you think? Well,
They
first
put
of all,
it-
I think it crosses boundaries, the story.
Well, they put it in category 4 up, but,
Okay. So who determines
but-
what age?
well,
Is that-
that's just it. I have some grandkids that are younger than that can read, you
I
know,
know,
so,
you
I
see,
mean.
you don't, I was just curious about that. That's the only question I've never asked, is who gets to determine?
Your publisher, I guess.
Okay, that's
You know.
about what I thought.
They have to put it, when you fill out all these forms, they ask you what
Okay.
category are you writing for, so they,
Now, Joanne, we have another author that we don't get to see her very often because she's out and about all over the place. And Rosemary Smith doesn't mind me using her name. And the reason I'm
Rosemary
bringing it up,
Okay.
she writes in many genres, but her children's book has like one page is lots and lots of the story, and then she has another page that's just a picture. And so most time you have few words
Mhm.
and you have the pictures.
Mhm.
And so we ask her, and she's asked a lot of times, why do you have so many words written? She said, because. She says, I want the parents to sit and read this book to their children. And she said, it's important to have that time together. And she had a good point, but not everybody would maybe have time to do what she wants. But her stories are fantastic, and she has a series. But not everybody thinks the same, like my great-granddaughters. No ifs, buts, and ands. I see her pick out the books. And my publisher taught me something.
What's that?
That book cover
Mhm.
catches the eye,
Mhm.
and the back of the book catches the reader.
Yeah.
And he is so right, like right there. I see all these little caterpillars
Yeah,
and
exactly.
his friends, and all this, and I thought that's perfect. So we had an ebook seminar a while back, little workshops.
I was there.
We want to have a little bit more and more.
Mhm.
Okay, and the most important thing is one of our past presidents of the Writers Guild, she emphasized how much the cover draws
Well,
the interest.
yeah, grabs
and all
people's
that.
attention.
So that right there is important when you choose your illustrator. So, but I was excited when you walked in and you shared, you just walked
Yeah.
in and you were so excited, and I was so excited for you that I announced it to the whole group. And that's how it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of the people I just recently had on my show, they heard somebody clapping and all kinds of stuff, and they ended up coming to see what all that was about.
Yeah.
And she has now published several series that are in different schools
Awesome.
all over the world.
Awesome.
So
Well,
that's the kind of stuff I like to share with
Yeah.
my new authors.
I've had so many
you know.
people, being at book signings and stuff, and
It's
they'll
so
come up to me and they say,
cute.
"Oh, I have a little story I've thought about." I said, "Write your book. Write your book." But they don't know how. I didn't know how either.
That's
I
right.
got on the phone and I started making calls and I prayed that I wouldn't be scammed.
Oh, yes, and that's another
Yeah.
thing too. That's why my heart is local. And it's so hard to find local, period.
Yeah.
To be able to mark, now you said the thing, write your book, store it up somewhere. If it hits you and you're retired, like Joanne and I, and all of a sudden it hits you again, a reminder that you started this story, it's not too late ever
No.
to make a book. And from that situation, so many things can happen and you can have so much fun. You don't have to have it perfect to start, just do it. I love that, just do it.
Mhm.
And then later on, the marketing part, it doesn't sit on the shelf by itself.
Yeah,
And
the
jump
marketing
off.
is the
It
marketing
gets
is
so
the part.
you, the writer, have to be really involved
Yeah,
in
I'm learning.
marketing your books, which is the hardest. I'd rather find, if I had the money, which a lot of us don't,
Mhm.
I would hire everybody, do everything. Just say, okay, I just want to write. But anyway, with that said, we have about 3 minutes or even 2 minutes left in the show.
Oh, wow.
So I want you to take this right now, anything that you have on your heart of any dreams or any future places to have book signing, now's the time. And when the rolling credits start rolling, we keep on talking.
Well, okay. I just want to thank the viewing audience for all the support and that y'all have all given me. So many of you I know are watching today because of our Facebook
Hey, yay.
publication and everything. But anyway, thank you all for your support. And then I thank the Lord for giving me the inspiration and the courage to go out and publish this book. And I just hope that it touches the hearts of people and that it does plant the seeds. And I hope that it'll inspire me to go out and bring more of God's Word to our children.
And I'm excited that you are working on another project. Can you give us a hint? Do you know a name of it?
I'm trying to do something on the Beatitudes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
it's hard, though. It's very hard to put it in to where children will understand it. But, yeah, I have a couple of things
Well, I'm
going.
so excited. I'm so excited. I honestly am with almost every author that comes in, but certain authors, I just can't wait to read your story. And for anyone that's interested in maybe taking a look at her book, you can always check it out at Barnes & Noble on the shelves, or is it online?
It's on the shelf.
Okay, it's on the shelves at this time. Well, I got news for you. It's doing pretty good because I checked out and they said, hurry up, get your copy.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I left them some signed copies. I
There
think
you
they
go.
may have some signed
There you
copies on the
go.
shelf there. But I'm trying to get into other bookstores locally and then hopefully maybe do a book tour.
Well, right
So-
now we're at the end of the show. Thank you for watching and
Thank
Facebook.
you, everybody.
We'll see
Bye-bye.
you again. Bye-bye.